Today I'm going to give you guys a list of the top 5 tools that I think every woodworker is going to need when they very first start out. Now keep in mind, these are the basic necessities. I got a good feeling that once you get into woodworking, almost immediately you're going to start buying other stuff. You're going to buy a table saw and a miter saw and eventually a planer and a joiner and things of that nature. But if you watch the woodworking video on YouTube today and you said to yourself, man, I want to get into woodworking, I want to build something myself, these are going to be basically the top 5 tools that you're going to need. All right, let's get right into it. The very first thing you're going to need is the ability to cut a straight line. My suggestion for your very first saw would be a 7 1/4 inch skill saw. I have a Makita, it's a cordless, but you can get any skill saw. You can probably even go to Harbor Freight and pick one of these things up for 20, 25 bucks. All right, the second thing you have to do is be able to screw things together, right? So I would suggest a drill and driver set. Now I have a Makita because the batteries are compatible with my skill saw, but you can basically, again, get any brand that you want. All right, on to the third tool. Once you can cut a straight line and you can screw them together, eventually you're gonna wanna make curved lines, right? So then you're gonna pick up a jigsaw. A jigsaw is gonna give you the ability to make, all the arch cuts and the little squiggly cuts and things of that nature. So that would be the third tool that I would buy. Now, if you can only get 4 tools, my 4th tool would absolutely be the sander. With the skill saw, you can cut straight lines. With the jigsaw, you can cut curved lines, you can screw stuff together. With these 3 tools, you can absolutely make a project, and then you can sand by hand. But having some sort of power sander is a super time saver. So if I could only go with 4 tools, my 4th tool would absolutely be a sander. So with those 4 tools, you can absolutely get into woodworking and make some amazing projects. That's basically what I started out with. But if we're gonna have a 5th tool, I think the router is absolutely the 5th best tool for beginner woodworkers. In my shop, I think a router is absolutely a necessity, but when you're beginning woodworking, it's not necessarily a necessity, but it's such a versatile tool. With the router, you can cut rabbets, dovetails, dados, and on top of the joinery, you also have the ability then to put decorative edges on your boards. So in the description for the video, I had the top 5 tools plus 1 extra. And this is gonna be my extra tool for today. It's the Craig pocket hole jig. The Craig jig doesn't necessarily fit in the category of necessity when it comes to woodworking, but I think for a beginner woodworker, it's a super good tool to have. It's gonna make it super easy to make carcasses for cabinets. And on top of that, when you first start out in woodworking, you're gonna realize that going down to Rockler and buying all these jigs is super expensive. And the pocket hole jig is gonna give you the ability to make these jigs so much easier and so much less expensive. That's about it, guys. I think those are the top 5 tools that every woodworker should probably get when they very first start out. With these tools, you can pretty much make anything. You can make cabinets, jewelry boxes, tables, chairs, pretty much anything. Now, granted, as you go along, like I said, you're probably going to buy other things. You're probably going to invest in a table saw. There's a bunch of different things that are going to make things a little bit easier. But with these tools, you can definitely make some projects. So get out in the shop and start building. All right, take care, guys.